For centuries, we gazed at the stars, filled with wonder. We sent probes, listened for signals, and dreamed of first contact. We never imagined it would happen like this. It didn't start with a greeting or a message of peace. It started with a flicker in the night sky. 11 new stars burning with an unnatural, ethereal light. We called them the Watchers. At first, they were a beautiful mystery, a global phenomenon. But then, the veil between worlds began to tear. Our reality started to fray at the edges. Shadows in the corner of your eye weren't just tricks of the light anymore. They were night wraiths, spectral predators that fed on fear. The ground itself became treacherous as the grave-burn, reanimated corpses bound by dark magic clawed their way to the surface. Humanity was plunged into an age of terror. Our advanced weapons, our tanks and jets, were useless against enemies that defied the laws of physics. We were no longer the dominant species on our own planet. We were prey. But in the face of extinction, humanity's true strength emerged, our relentless ingenuity. In hidden bunkers and fortified labs, the world's brightest minds united. Among them was Dr. Ethan Vance, a theoretical physicist who lost his family in the first wave. Working alongside him was Dr. Claire Sterling, a brilliant xenobotanist who studied the alien flora that began to choke our cities. They led a clandestine project codenamed Aegis, their mission to understand the magic that was trying to destroy us. The team was small but elite. Lena Petrova, a cryptographer, worked tirelessly to decipher the patterns in the Watcher's light, convinced it was a form of communication or code. And providing security for their vital work was a military unit led by Commander Mark Gunner and his second-in-command, Sergeant Jason Jax Riley. They were the shield, fighting back the tide of horrors so the scientists could find a sword. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Claire discovered that certain crystalline structures, formed where supernatural energy was most concentrated, resonated with specific frequencies. She called it sympathetic magic. Ethan theorized that if they could replicate and amplify this frequency, they could disrupt the invaders' connection to their world, maybe even control the energy itself. This theory gave birth to the spectral resonator, a device that looked like something out of science fiction, pulsing with captured otherworldly energy. Their first field test was a harrowing success. A swarm of night wraiths descended on a refugee camp. Conventional weapons were failing. Mark and Jax held the line, but their ammunition was running low. At the critical moment, Ethan activated the resonator. A wave of pure, harmonic energy washed over the battlefield. The wraiths didn't just die. They unraveled, their spectral forms dissolving into harmless motes of light. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity had a weapon that worked. We had a chance. But defending ourselves wasn't enough. Lena's work finally paid off. She cracked the code of the Watchers. They weren't just stars. They were conduits, cosmic gateways pumping raw, chaotic magic into our dimension. And the largest one, the brightest and most menacing, was the 11th Watcher. It was the heart of the invasion, the source of the most powerful entities. To end the war, they had to go to the source. What followed was a mission that defied all odds. They repurposed a deep space probe, shielding it with captured magical energy and equipping it with the spectral resonator, now amplified 1,000-fold. This was a one-way trip. The team consisted of Ethan, Claire, Mark, and Jax. Lena would guide them from Earth, a voice of logic across the void. Their destination, a point in space where the 11th Watcher burned brightest. The journey was a nightmare. The space between worlds was not empty. It was a tempest of raw magic and psychic predators. The ship groaned under the assault, its energy shields flickering. Jax and Mark had to physically fight off Border's creatures of pure nightmare that phased through the hull. Inside the lab, Ethan and Claire frantically recalibrated the resonator, trying to match the chaotic frequencies that threatened to tear them apart. They were a tiny island of order in an ocean of cosmic madness. As they approached the 11th Watcher, they saw it for what it truly was. Not a star, but a colossal, sentient being of pure energy and malice. Lena's voice crackled over the comms, her analysis chilling. It's a consciousness, the source, the archon of the void. It sensed their approach. The psychic pressure was immense, crushing their minds with visions of despair and loss. It showed Ethan his family, whispering that he could have them back, he would only surrender. It showed Mark his fallen soldiers, accusing him of leading them to their deaths. But they held on. Jax, ever the rock, kept everyone grounded. It's just fear. It's what they do. Don't let it win. Claire, remembering her research, realized the Archon wasn't just broadcasting magic. It was broadcasting a protocol, a set of rules that governed the invaders. It was a cosmic program running on the hardware of our reality. And any program could be hacked. This was their final, desperate gambit. Ethan couldn't just disrupt the energy, he had to rewrite it. As Mark and Jax provided covering fire against the Archon's manifested guardians, Ethan and Claire began the most complex coding session in human history. They weren't using Python or C++, they were using frequencies, harmonics, and sympathetic resonance. They were reprogramming magic itself. They aimed the spectral resonator not as a weapon, but as an upload device. They sent a new protocol into the heart of the Archon. Not a virus of destruction, but a command of order. A simple, elegant line of code based on the fundamental laws of their own universe, physics, causality, logic. They were telling the Archon, in this reality, you will follow our rules. For a terrifying moment, nothing happened. The Archon's power surged, threatening to obliterate them. Then a change, the chaotic, malevolent energy began to stabilize. The Watcher's violent light softened, becoming a steady, neutral glow. Back on Earth, the effects were immediate. Night wraiths froze in place before fading away. The Graveburn collapsed, their unholy animation ceasing. The invasive, alien flora withered and died. The link was severed. The Archon of the Void wasn't destroyed, it was contained, pacified. The river of chaotic magic was dammed. The 11 Watchers still hang in our sky, but they are no longer a threat. They are a monument to our victory, a reminder of the war we won. Humanity inherited the keys to a new kingdom. The energy that once sought to consume us is now a tool. We are entering a new era, one where science and magic are intertwined. We have learned to wield the spectral protocols, turning ancient, cosmic power into a new frontier of exploration and discovery. We looked into the abyss, and instead of letting it swallow us, we mapped it, we understood it, and we made it our own. The age of fear is over. The age of humanity has just begun again. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tales from the edge of reality.